SGC here, and we're back with a movie review. Nameless Gangster. Rules of the Time. Or literally the Korean name, War and Crime, the Golden Age of the Bad Guys. It's a 2012 South Korean gangster film directed by Yoon Jong-bin, who I have not seen any of his stuff, starring the great Choi Min-sik, aka Old Boy, and Jung-woo. The film is set in the 1980s and 90s in Busan when corruption and crime was so rampant that the government declared war on it in 1990. And crazily enough, on the wiki page, Time magazine praised the film, calling it the Korean mob film Scorsese. My pronunciation fails even in parts of greatness in film. Would be proud of it. That's how crazy Time thinks this film is. So, what is the basic plot line? It's pretty much following the character of Choi Min-sik, who somehow gets into this whole business of selling cocaine, and then he meets up with Jung-woo, who actually is a gangster, and they sort of start working together, and then Choi Min-sik sort of climbs the ladder and really feels the way for the gangster life and sets everything up. And his initial partner, Jung-woo, becomes sort of muscle, and Choi Min-sik becomes the brains. And then that's this mentality that breaks out as to like, wow, this normal guy is coming into our turf and becoming such a big thing. And then things happen. So what did I like about this film? So first off, seeing Choi Min-sik in such of a character where I don't like, he's so annoying and he's such like an old uncle sort of vibe. It's just like, man, this guy, he just wants your attention. He's here to get something out of it. That's why he's here. There's no other reason. And to see him change throughout this entire film was really interesting, as his character sort of like built this confidence, as in like, no, I know how to do this in this gangster world. Let me do this. I am the brains. You're the muscle. Remind yourself of that. That vibe that he carries throughout the film, and when things happen, it's just like, wow, it gets challenged, and he's like, wow, am I really here? And just awesome performance from him. And also Jung-woo, who I've never seen before, plays a really cool gangster guy who's just, you know, like, yeah, you can come up, spread my empire, and I'm sort of the king, but I'll be laid back. Like, he had that such a laid back atmosphere. It was just wow. So yeah, also it feels 80s and 90s for sure. The vibe, the hairstyle, the atmosphere, the way the fights pan out, and the way that things are set up in terms of just like eating with colleagues, and just it's just authentic. That's how I feel about it when I watched it. And like, wow, I do feel like it's a time traveling movie in the sense where it's 80s and 90s of Busan, and they're different from me right now. So, what did I not like about this film? Well, maybe not really dislike, but it was just a little more like, I don't know where it's going. It's that I don't know where it's going with this entire movie. Because I felt that at the beginning, Choi Min-sik didn't even know Jung-woo, and it's like somehow that happened, and they're like, oh, okay, so now something's gonna happen now, and it's still dragged out the entire movie. Not drag is a bad thing, but it's just drawn out into the sense where we're experiencing the change of Choi Min-sik's normal person mentality into a crime mentality. At the end of the day, I totally appreciate this movie. I enjoy it, and I think you should watch it too, because just to see how 80s and 90s Korea was, and just to see how gangsters were back then. It's just not as crazy bloody as something you would say that I recently watched, like an Outrage, where that was just nuts. But here, or not even Outrage, that's Japanese, but other like Korean gangster films, the violence here is kind of toned down in the sense, but it still brings up the, you know, the hammer down sort of thing. But anyway, I enjoyed Nameless Gangster. It was really Nameless Gangster because it wasn't establishing a crazy guy becoming like, oh, I'm gonna become a gangster and rule the kingdom sort of thing. But it was just this random guy that just happened to find something, and then he's like, oh, I happen to know you. There's like that, and let's just see what transpires and changes. And it was a very cool transformation to witness, to see what a normal person would go through when they get all this power and money and everything. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this review for Nameless Gangster, Rules of the Time. Totally check it out. It is Choi Min-sik. You watch Old Boy, you should just try to watch everything that he's in, because he's a great actor and he's getting old, so yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this movie review, Nameless Gangster. See ya.